Well, welcome to this Hartford Showcase on Hartford TV. I'm Don Morrison. I have two partners with me today. I'm very blessed at Aberdeen High School. Tim Lindekamp, the athletic director here at Aberdeen and former head coach, and Scott Elliott. Scott, first of all, this game pits Fallston 6-2, had a six-game winning streak, and came up short against Bel Air on Monday.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with losing a game early in the season. I guess that's what they're chalking that up to, but they look good. They're out of the gate strong.
Tim, we missed that first half of the first inning. A good start for Aberdeen, a one base hit by Fox, but they got him out, so it is 0-0 as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Tyler Kenny leading off for Aberdeen. Tyler, ground ball foul on the first pitch. Tyler is a shortstop, just a sophomore. And Tim, that's not unusual. You've got, what, 5 sophomores and the pitcher's a freshman?
Yeah, 5 sophomores, freshman pitching, very young team, and they just have to play solid defensively, I think, to stay in this game.
Paul Kvek, the pitcher for Fallston. Outside corner. Yep. 0-2 the count. Nice hard pitch. Kvek, 14 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, a 3-2 record, a 1.00 ERA. Scott, he brings it pretty good.
Yeah, it's noticeable. He's tall and he's got a lot behind the ball.
And just a sophomore as well. Big kid for a sophomore. Line shot off the third baseman's glove. Base hit on that third base line.
He should be.
So Kenny leading off with a base hit. Nice line shot off the glove of Tony Schweitzer, the third baseman. Timmy, I think Schweitzer made a good effort at it, just didn't flag it down.
Right, I think the pitcher is right now. I think he knows we have a young team and he's going with all hard stuff. I haven't seen him throwing anything off speed yet.
KJ Miller, the number 2 batter, also a sophomore, second baseman. A little bit up high and outside. Umpires Joel McCall behind the plate, Ed Kalinsky on the bases. Game at Aberdeen High School. Temperature about 79. A little bit cloudy, Tim, and the wind has picked up, wind blowing from left to right. There he goes. Ground ball shortstop. One play at first base.
That's tough in the grass.
And the out is at first base. Boy, he did a nice job coming in. We're talking about Jason Fox, Jr. Young man with that name with double X at the end sounds familiar. The great-grandson of Jimmy Fox, the Hall of Famer from Sudlersville, Maryland. On at first base is Miller on the fielder's choice. That brings up the number 3 hitter, Sean Diener. A little bit of an off-speed pitch. Gets in on the strike. Diener batting .409, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs. Tim, if there's a stud in this lineup, this is the man.
Right, and Diener's got to carry the Aberdeen team, so he's got to be the one that drives in the runs. So hopefully, and the good at bat by Miller to get him over to second. So we'll see what happens here.
And Kenny running on the pitch, so there's no chance for the double play. 1 out, 1 on. Ground ball back to the pitcher. Has him trapped at third base. He's out at third base. Breaking for third was KJ Miller. Timmy, probably not what you as a coach would want your batter to do, your runner to do with 1 out.
Yeah, you have to make sure that's through, and if it's a slow roller, then you can take it, but you can't run on that, especially in the first inning. You want to get on top right away.
That'll bring up the cleanup hitter. This is Tyler Sampson. Reaching first base on the fielder's choice was Sean Diener. 2 out now. Not on at first base. Your scoring, that was from 1 to 6 to 5 on the out, catching Miller going to third base. Bottom of the first inning. 2 out, runner on at first base. Aberdeen, Fallston, 0-0. Nice little swerve there. He's got him off balance, I think, Scott.
See a tight break on that.
Again, just a sophomore, Paul Kvek. Swung on a missed.
Came right back with it.
Yes, he did. 2 in a row, doubling up on it. So, Tim, so far, what have you seen?
Like I said before, I think Aberdeen's got to, throw strikes and play solid defense. And they're going to have to manufacture runs. And this Fallston team, you got to keep them off balance because they're going to open up one of these innings because, they're 6-1 and Looks like they got some guys that can swing it a little bit.
Yeah, Fallston, Scott had that 6-game winning streak. They lost their first game of the year against Curley and then ripped off 6 straight wins and then came up short against Bel Air. You and I talked about that a bit. High school players, extenuating circumstances. Yeah, the pitcher got sick the day of the game. The catcher was out. So, yeah, you can make excuses, but if you're Grant Morlock, the Fallston coach, excuses don't get it.
No, I mean, it's a rivalry game, too. That's Bel Air. They all know each other. And, you know, Bel Air's not going to roll over and probably got up on them and finished the game. So it happens. Yeah, he's probably got ambitions to go into the state tournament. So, you know, dropping a game in baseball early is not going to hurt you there as long as you don't string them together as losses.
Yeah, that opening season win by Fallston 4-0 at Bel Air, a one-hitter for Fallston. And again, you come in on a 6-game winning streak and you think, okay, well, I'm playing at home. But it just didn't work out that way. No scores. We go to the top of the second inning. Fallston Cougars will send up James Ferrari, Paul Kvek, and Noah Bark, hitters number 5, 6, and 7 in the order.
Well, Fallston's going to want to make a move here. I mean, you got a young pitcher on the mound. It's time to jump on him and get some run support. Anything can happen on the field like this because it's early, the grass is high, and you don't want to give Aberdeen a chance.
Ground ball third base, moving on it. Fair ball, throwing the ball from the seat of his pants. Tyler Sampson made the reception, came up with a grounder, but Tim, I'm not sure. Did he just lose his footing?
It looks like he lost his footing. It's pretty soft over there. Personally, I'd have probably backhanded that, so my foot would already be set.
Yeah.
And just make that throw instead of trying to circle it.
On at first base is Ferrari. That'll bring up the number 6 hitter in the lineup, Paul Kvek, the starting pitcher, a .217 hitter. Kvek wearing number 13. Tim, you ever have a trichodecaphobia about wearing number 13?
Never had a problem with numbers. It was just the other things. If I was on a good hitting streak, I might not wash my uniform for a while. I think you might have hollered at me on the bus a couple times for that.
I did. Lindekamp, you know, what are you doing? A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the second inning, no score. Fallston 6-2 in the year. Aberdeen 2-6. Up high. 2 balls and a strike. Can we talk about this field? It's the Cal Ripken Senior Field. The money for the field came from Cal Ripken Jr., the money he had received from Major League Baseball when he broke the record. We'll talk a bit more about that here when we get another chance. Nice field. Pop up. Going to be out of play. I think it's $75,000 he contributed to the field.
It was $75,000, and that was from breaking Garrick's streak. And then he put the money right back here into his community.
And Rigor Mortis, late Rigor Mortis, the great coach here at Aberdeen, we'll talk more about him, who's responsible for these arcs, these lights that allow us to play night baseball. Tell me, talk about him. He passed away last fall.
Yes, Rigor, he was stable here at Aberdeen High School and really hit the community really hard, losing Rig.
Pop foul, running on the pitch. Going to be out of play. Ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Charles Mortis was his name, but nobody knew him as Charles. And we were talking about how he got that name. Jim Smith, the legendary late coach here at Aberdeen, said something about Rigor when he didn't make a particular play.
He told him he was going to be Rigor Mortis. And I guess Rig took that to heart.
It stuck. There he goes again, down to second base. Sliding in safely on the stolen base is Ferrari.
See, I think here you can see the little things like the catcher, you know, there's a lot of ways you can catch, but he keeps his hand back behind his behind, or I like to have it right behind the glove so I can have that quick exchange. And, you know, you might be able to throw out more runners that way.
Caden Saunders, the sophomore we're talking about. Line shot to right field. That's going to go in for the base hit. Should score a run. Moving on to this Oliveira. And here he comes in without a throw. Scoring the first run of the game for Laurie. On the base hit to right field by Kvek.
That's the way to help yourself out as a pitcher.
Boy, Scott, he met that right where the ball was pitched. It was on the outside. He went right with it.
Yeah, he didn't try to do too much with it. Knocks in the first run of the game.
Nobody out now. Coming up is Noah Bark. Noah, the right fielder. Noah, one of the sophomores on this team. Up and outside. Set that defense for you for Aberdeen. Tyler Sampson at third base. Tyler Kenny, sophomore, and K.J. Miller, sophomore, short and second. Sean Diener, the senior, at first base. Jaden Saunders, the catcher. Just a little bit low.
This is what's happened to Keithley throughout the year. He gets behind, and then he has to throw that groove pitch, and, you know, good things don't happen.
Bryson Keithley, the sophomore pitcher. Up high in the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bryson Keithley, 0-2 on the year, 6 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 10 runs, 4 earned, 4.20 ERA. Pop up, moving on at second baseman, K.J. Miller. Miller makes the one-handed catch. Scott, the one-handed catch, fine, as long as you make it.
Right, it counts as an out. I think the two-handed catch does too. So you're not going to talk these young guys into doing what you did, Don.
You're not. The glove is so much better in our day. Back in the dark ages, you had to use 2 hands because the glove, you couldn't maintain the ball in the glove. Now the glove, you get it in there, it stays. Tony Schweitzer now.
Well, you're still going to hear about it. If you drop it, you're still going to hear about it if you one-handed. Just don't drop it.
Just don't drop it. 1 out, up high. Jaden Saunders, I liked him how active he is behind the plate. You can tell he's really into the game, trying to get his pitcher to do his best effort.
Like I said, he just started catching last year, and he's worked really hard on the defensive aspect.
Swung on the miss. Nice little, almost a change-up pitch on the inside corner.
Well, he's got a good arm, and you mentioned earlier, Tim, that it has a lot to do with your hand, how you're going to work your hands, and a lot of the younger players just don't have that. So the transfer's a little slower, and that matters when you're playing a better team. Those tiny fractions of a second matter.
Right.
Line shot that's going to fall for, no, the second baseman's going to make the catch. Good job.
That's another nice one-handed catch,
It
Don.
was. I'm liking it. Line drive to the second baseman. That looked like the ball was going to get in the outfield, but it died quickly.
Yeah, when I was coaching, I always talked about time is steps. So the more time it took me to get to the ball, the more steps he gets down the line.
Evan Elliott now, the left fielder. Evan is senior. There he goes. Down to second base in the slide. He is out. Cut down going from first to second. So that'll end the inning as Quebec. Guess they had a, I'm sorry, I didn't notice, but they put in a designated runner for Quebec.
It's number 3.
Number 3, yeah, now I've got to find my roster here.
Ryder Knowles.
Thank you.
We were talking about Sanders earlier. He did just about everything perfect on that one, and the jump wasn't bad. His arm strength caught up to the runner, and he put it right on the bag. So, good to him. I mean, he has room to grow, but he definitely has some tools. And what I liked about it most of all was he came into the dugout with some fire in him. So,
yeah,
you got to answer. Fallston put a run on the board. They're the favored team, and you throw a runner out. Let's use that as momentum, right?
And this is where you need to come up and, try to get you one back on the board. Put a little pressure on Fallston.
Yeah.
Top of the second, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Nobody left on base. It is 1-0. We're going to the bottom of the second inning.
And Aberdeen should be talking about he's throwing fastballs. Let's go up there and get something we can drive and get to him a little. Try to answer back before the game gets, too late in the innings.
Danny France, Jaden Saunders, and Connor Sullivan. Actually, Trenton Griffin. Check it one more time. Connor Sullivan, the DH. So it's France, Saunders, and Sullivan coming up for Aberdeen. Eagles had a chance there in that top of the first inning or bottom of the first inning. Sort of ran themselves out of the inning. Danny France, a 100 hitter on the year. Line shot. Nice leaping play by the second baseman. That's Logan White who goes up and makes the catch.
Well,
was hit right on the button.
Hey, he jumped on the first pitch. It's not a bad idea. I mean, they're grooving it. Go ahead and answer it.
Logan White timed that leap perfectly, making the catch. One pitch, one out. Jaden Saunders, the sophomore catcher. Paul Kvek, second-year varsity player. Nice curveball starting. Tim, a lot of these Aberdeen players are in something called the Miracle League, volunteering in the Miracle League. We get a chance to talk some more about that. That did, yep, that hit him. Hit by the pitch. Going down to first base. One out now. Connor Sullivan, the 4.69 GPA student. That's pretty good average, Tim. That's kind of like what you had in high school, right?
I wish.
Yeah. Connor Sullivan. Connor, just a junior. Volleyball player, all-county band.
Yeah, there's not enough room on the sheet here to fit in everything he's got going on. I think we have to see page 2, but good for him.
Has perfect attendance since kindergarten, Scott.
Okay, so there's some room to improve.
Oh, hard to be better than perfect. I like it. Think about all the days he woke up and didn't feel well and said, hey, I'm going.
Well, now he's a junior going into his senior year. You know he's not going to miss any now. I mean, that's the fun stuff ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, sickness, yeah, and the things you can't control, but swung on a missed. But you have to admire somebody, and Scott, you being a business person, you know what that means in terms of being dedicated to your job.
Sure, he's got a lot on his resume that shows dedication. He should be proud of what he's done in high school.
Dribbler up the third base line, foul ball. In the bottom of the second inning, it's 1-0 Fallston. They scored a run in the top of the second inning.
I believe they brought Antoine Wright in to run for Saunders, the catcher. Pretty sure that's Antoine Wright.
Once again, if you're not familiar with the limited substitution rule and the courtesy runner, we'll talk more about that in a second. Fly ball center field. Rock coming in, making the catch. Braden Rock coming in and putting it away. Runner hangs on at first base. 2 out now, runner at first. Dan Olivak. Dan, a sophomore, 4.5 GPA, right fielder. Dan's in the Science Math Academy, and again, that's one of the magnet programs in the county. Tim, that started in '03 when the school opened, and kids come from all over the county to attend Aberdeen if they're interested in science and math.
That's correct, and we get a lot of our athletes out of the Science and
Running.
Math Academy.
Throw down to second base. He is going to be safe at second on the stolen base. Nice jump I saw by the designated runner. Who'd you say that was?
Antoine Wright.
Antoine Wright, who's running as a courtesy runner. And again, in high school, pitchers and catchers, you can put in a courtesy runner. Doesn't affect the pitcher. The catcher can come right back in. Foul ball back our way. 2 out, runner at second base now. Looking for a base hit to tie this up. Dan Olivek looking for his first hit of the season. This would be a nice spot for him to get it.
Hey, pick up an RBI with it too.
We like it. Swung on a miss.
I think he's going to get another one of those.
Throw the heater until you prove you can hit it. Oh, the curveball. Oh, my. That's just not fair. You should at least tell me you're going to throw that curveball.
I think he was a little forward on that.
What a pitch. What a pitch by Quebec, Paul Quebec. Quebec now has 13 strikeouts, make it 14 strikeouts on the season, 2 tonight, 12 coming in. So no runs. 1 hit by pitch, so no hits at all. No errors. There's 1 runner left on base. We played 2 full. It's Fallston leading by 1-0.
Tim, how did the players from Aberdeen get involved with the Miracle League?
We had a player that had a special needs brother that came to a lot of our games, and we had a manager, Aubrey Bennett, whose special needs was our manager for several years, and we found out they were having it up at Shucks Park, the new field, and we just asked for a couple kids to volunteer, and next thing you know, the whole team volunteered. And then Hartford Tech also got involved. Paul Danielle, their head coach, has his kids coming up too. It's a fantastic program.
The Miracle League's a nonprofit. I'm actually on the board of directors. And it was started by Tom Walls, the owner of Plaza Ford, and his wife Sharon Walls. And they started, the program really builds fields and then gives special needs players a chance to play. So it's a terrific thing.
Well, it is. I think we've got 3 or 4 of the Aberdeen players who are volunteers for that program. Evan Elliott, the number 9 hitter in the lineup to lead off here in the top of the 3rd inning for Fallston. Pitcher Bryson Keithley. Line drive, right field, moving. Right fielder has it in range. Dan Olivet puts it away. 1 up, 1 down, 1 pitch. Tim, they're not waiting around.
Yeah, I think, if Aberdeen can continue to hold them, this is a game Fallston knows or believes they should win, and I think they could start getting a little tight. And then, you could start making mistakes, and maybe Aberdeen could, get some runs on the board.
Brings up the top of the order in Logan White. Logan had grounded out to 3rd base back in the 1st inning. Swung on this.
He also lets a freshman pitcher get a little confidence the longer he hangs in. I mean, he's into the 3rd now. If he can make another out, get another out, he's on his way to pitching 3 innings.
Whoop. Hit him on the left arm. Hit by pitch, or 2nd hit by pitch of the night. Runner goes down to 1st base. 1 out, brings up Braden Rock. And Braden, you may remember in the 1st inning, thought he was hit by the pitch and went down to 1st base, but he was brought back by home plate to Joel McCall and said, no, stay in your hit. He lined out to the 2nd baseman, actually to the shortstop. Ground ball 1st base, fielded by Diener. Diener throws to 2nd. Wide throw, he's safe at 1st and safe at 1st as well. Nope, they call him out at 1st base. Safe at 2nd, out at 1st. Diener's throw to 2nd base pulled the shortstop, Kenny, off the bag. Kenny made a little whirl around through the 1st base and got the out call at 1st base.
And that's not a bad at bat, because now you have a guy in scoring position with, 2 outs. So you can still get a knock here and get the runner in.
And with Jason Fox, the leading hitter on this team, who singled back in the 1st inning. Down low. Ball 1. Yeah, Jason had the RBI, or I should say had a stolen base back in that 1st inning. Singled to center field and then stole 2nd. Died there as Jordan popped up to the 1st baseman.
Yeah, it's too bad for Bryson Keithley, too. He did throw a good double play ball and could be out of the inning, but now he's got to buckle down and get the best hitter on the team out.
Pop up.
Got a
3rd
shot.
Baseman moving. Tyler Sampson. Sampson makes the catch, the running catch. The wind may have had something to do with that. So getting out of the inning, good job by Bryson Keithley on the pop-up in the inning. No runs, no base hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on 1st base. So we've now played 2.5 innings with a 1-0 lead by Fallston.
And I'll go back, Don, just to close the loop on the Miracle League comments we made last inning. The reason the Aberdeen players are involved there is as buddies for the special needs players who maybe couldn't hit the ball or can't run the bases, so they get a buddy to pair up with.
Yeah.
And that baseball player from Aberdeen, say, would help them around the bases and help them enjoy the day. So it's important that anybody listening, if other county teams are interested, they should contact the Miracle League through their website and definitely participate, volunteer, and they would take donations too. That field's a magnificent field. If you haven't seen it, it's at Thomas Run Park right across from Hereford Community College.
Yeah, Mr. Walls at Plaza Ford. I mean, this is just a passion for himself and for his wife.
It is. They had Tom when Tom grew up playing baseball like a lot of us, and he had a relative, a cousin, I think it was, that was special needs and had to sit in the house and watch them play out in the backyards and could never really participate. So Tom was very passionate about making this field happen so that everybody has a chance to play ball. And they use it for other sports too.
Tim, again, what your guys are doing, volunteering, along as you said with Harper Tech, what a great thing for them to do to learn the lesson of being helpful to others.
Well, it's all about, paying back. And they really enjoyed going there and being the buddy. It's a fantastic program. I've been lucky enough to go out there once, but I've also went up to, I believe Sean Casey up in Pittsburgh calls his the Miracle League or the something like that. But we've done stuff with him too.
Timmy, it looks like, Scott, looks like they brought in, this is supposed to be Bryson Keithley's spot, but they're bringing in number 14 as Aberdeen. Looks like we have a pinch hitter here. We weren't told about it, but
I believe Trenton Griffin is DHing for Bryson, maybe.
okay. We didn't get that from the starting lineup, but we'll say that is, who is this, Tim?
Trenton Griffin?
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's is he in center field?
Yes.
He's hitting ninth and center, so we haven't flipped over to the top of the lineup yet.
Right.
Just high heat there, matching him, challenging him.
Paul Kvek with the strikeout. Yeah, that must have been a last-minute change of bringing in Trenton, bringing us a DH for Bryson Keithley in the number 9 spot. We bring up Tyler Kenny now. Tyler, the sophomore, who's a shortstop, who got a single back in the first inning, leading off the ball game. Up high, ducks under it. Ball 1.
It looks like Connor Sullivan is the DH for Bryson Keithley since Trenton Griffin is in the game.
Okay, got it. So the batter we just saw, number 14, Trenton, so he is actually playing. He's in the 9th order. So
as a center fielder.
As a center fielder. Hits the bat. Oh, that's a bad break. If you're Tyler Kenny, you don't want to get hit. But on the other hand, that ball was bearing in, and now they call a strike on you.
Yeah, off the bottom of the bat.
Yeah. I'll tell you, though, I think I'd rather have the bat than hit my hand. Getting first base with a broken hand is not a good trade. Boy, nice fastball. It's got him impressed with Paul Kvek, this young sophomore.
Well, he's doing what he has to do. He's overpowering right now, and he's throwing strikes. That's last thing you want to do is, I jinxed him there, but last thing you want to do is get wild and let Aberdeen get momentum, like Tim said earlier. It's only a 1-0 game. He needs to pound the mitt and get his team back in there to get some runs on the board. He's got no run support at this point.
Shot down to third base. Bad hop. Great play by Schweitzer, and a great play at first base by Jordan to pull it out. I mean, Schweitzer hung right with that ball. That ball should have been in left field, Tim.
Yeah, it must have caught the lip right at the right spot. But again, as a pitcher, I think here he needs to challenge these hitters and just keep going at them, keep his pitch count low, and force Aberdeen to hit the ball.
We put a star beside both the third baseman, Tony Schweitzer, and the first baseman, Finley Jordan. Great scoop by Schweitzer, went up with that bad hop, made the catch, made a throw to first base a bit low, and Jordan dug it out. 2 down now. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter in the order, K.J. Miller. Miller got on back in the first inning on a fielder's choice, but then unfortunately ran himself out of the baseline in terms of being thrown out at third base. Outside. Scott, we talk about that. That's a lesson that this young player will learn is when the ball is hit into the infield, if you're on at second base. If it's in front of you, you got to hold up.
And the coach has to yell back, back, back. So mistakes all the way around on that one. But if he can get on here, he's got the hitter coming up next, because there you go.
Right up the middle. Fox,
nice
great play. And a throw to first base for the out. Jason Fox going over, making the scoop, and the sidearm throw. What a play by shortstop Jason Fox.
Yeah, that was a nice play, and that's where that grass doesn't help you, because I thought when he hit that, it was up the middle, but it didn't get through. It slowed down, and the shortstop caught up to it and threw him out.
Jason Fox, the junior grandson of Bob McGee of Aberdeen fame, who was a principal here at Aberdeen and a guidance counselor for years and was president of the Board of Education. Tim, I think as we talked about grandkids, he's a bit proud of Jason Fox, and well should be.
Yes. I mean, that was a nice play. He didn't give up on it. I thought it was going up the middle, too. And the shortstop Fox made a really good play on that.
No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody on left. Two great plays, or actually three. One by the third baseman, Schweitzer, on that ground ball, and then scoop out by Jordan, and then going over and making the scoop. I really liked how Jason stayed down, Tim. Didn't have to straighten up. He sidearmed that ball with a lot on it.
Yeah, you have a lot of infielders that want to pop up. But, you know, the lower you get down to the ground, it's easier to see the ball go into your glove, and you make that play.
And Scott, the great thing, he got a jump on that ball. You and I both thought it was into center field, but he was moving as soon as the ball was hit.
Yeah, and he didn't give up on the play. There's a couple players you've seen give up on some things and already, but it's, you know, he hustled through the ball and then made a good throw. He had plenty of time.
Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 to score. Fallston leading, scored their run in the second inning. They'll bring up their cleanup hitter, Finley Jordan. Jordan, who popped up to the first baseman back in the first inning. There's that little humpback curve. Timmy, he drops down and sort of throws its sidearm, so it's a flat curve, but it's got a lot of movement on it. Just a bit outside.
See, I think, you know, Bryson Keithley needs to, you know, he's got to do a lot of different things because he can't overpower you with a fastball. So he's got to throw a lot of off speed, and he's got to hit his spots.
Strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, Bryson Keithley, a freshman. Scott, I can remember being a freshman, and I would have been scared to death being on the field. He's out there pitching against one of the best lineups in the county.
And he has been scared. You could see, oh, that's a nice pitch. So, you know, early I could see his body language. He was tight, and he should be. He's a freshman pitching this game, but he's taken several deep breaths now in between pitches there. He just took another one, so he's relaxed and settled in, and that last pitch had a lot of action on it, and that only comes if you're relaxed.
Ground ball, foul ball at the plate. Finley Jordan, a .375 hitter, 6 runs, 5 RBIs, 3 doubles, and 4 walks. Again, the cleanup hitter in this lineup. Top of the fourth inning, the 1-0 lead by Fallston. Curveball hit to the shortstop. Kenny coming in.
Oh,
Throws
boy.
to first and gets him out by a step.
Yeah, he stopped on the ball. It's exactly the opposite play of what we saw Fox do. And the shortstop kind of stopped on that ball and waited for it. And in this grass, it's going to be a bang-bang play. But I'm glad that that is an out because, honestly, Bryson Keithley pitched that really well. And he deserves to get another out. You could hear the coaches and the players are kind of getting behind him now and starting to cheer him on. So he's doing a good job. He's relaxed, and now he's facing the tail end of the order if he can get out of this inning.
James Ferrari with a line shot to left field for the base hit. Reached on an error the first time up and scored the only run of the game so far. That ball had a little bit too much of the plate, Scott.
Yeah, that was, you got to mix it up a little. Like Tim said, he's got different pitches, but that was grooved.
Scott, you have that. That's Ryder Knowles, who's coming in as a courtesy runner for the catcher for Raleigh. That brings up the pitcher, Paul Kvek. Paul had a single to right field first time up and got the RBI. 1 out, runner at first base.
They're sitting on first pitch fastball right now.
Line shot into left field. That ball had some distance on it. We don't have the official distances. The short field is right field. Probably about, what, 250, Tim, you think?
Say about 250, 260.
At center field and left field, that's quite a poke. There he goes.
Yeah, that's a tough. He stood the catcher up on the high curveball, and it just threw everything off. Catcher's timing was just a little off.
Yeah, it was.
But, you know, as Tim said, Jaden has not had a lot of reps back there, so that's a tough pitch for anybody to really throw somebody out on.
Jaden Saunders, the catcher we're talking about. Again, I'm really impressed with his energy. Let's see, timeout here as they're talking at second base. I'm not sure what that was all about. Stolen base for Knowles now on at second base in scoring position with 1 out. Paul Kvek looking to get a second RBI here.
He's helped himself. He might as well help himself again. Aberdeen's giving up a lot of the right side here, so anything to the right side is going to do the trick. But that's a floater.
Over the shortstop head. Coming in left fielder. And he's going to hold at third base. Wise decision on the part of the runner. That ball just clearing Tyler Kenny. Kenny went back, made a leap, but it got over its head for the base hit. Runner moves up to third base, so we have runners at first and third and one out. Sending in Jake Kimes now as the courtesy runner at first base. Runners on at first and third, one out. Noah Bark.
Fallston's making the move here, so it's time for Aberdeen to answer. They need to play some defense.
Bark, who popped up to the second baseman, back in the second inning.
Nice pitch. You know, Bryson Keithley's done all he can do at this point. He's throwing strikes, he's keeping them in it, but they have to stand up here and play some defense with one out.
I mean, even if they give up one run here, that still would be a successful inning. You just can't let this explode on him.
Yeah.
Up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Freshman Bryson Keithley. 0-2 on the year, 6 2/3 innings coming in, giving up 9 hits, 10 runs, just 4 of them earned, a 4.20 ERA.
Got a big lead at first base.
Up high and inside. I'm impressed with Knowles at third base, Tim, the way he's got his momentum coming toward the plate on every pitch. Too often you see runners going back to the base rather than going forward.
Yeah, he needs to be coming forward in case there's a wild pitch or...
We'll let him go, and we'll get the stolen base. I guess they call that defensive indifference, but I'm going to give him a stolen base. What the heck? He earned it. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. 1-0 lead for Fallston. Ground ball foul. Was that Grant Morlock coaching at third base?
Yes, it is, and he should have made that play.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, you know, you're experienced now. Let that thing go.
I don't know.
Reaching your hand out.
It's not worth a jammed finger. Just look like you tried to field it, let it go.
Yeah. Big pitch now. Infield is back, Tim, so it looks like they're going to let this run score if they can get a ground ball for the out. As a coach, would you do that?
Actually, I'd bring my infield up because I know I can't let them score a lot of runs. I know you could get a little one through the infield like that, but...
Ground ball third base, moving on it.
Got him
Throw
at
home. Oh, great throw and a nice tag. Good play by Tyler Sampson and the tag by Jaden Saunders.
That's a very big play. If Keithley can get out of this inning, that should give Aberdeen a lot of momentum coming in the hit.
So Bark reaches on the fielder's choice. Scott, I don't have a whole lot of complaint about the runner running on that pitch. Knowles, he got a nice jump. It took a good catch, a good throw, and a great tag.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing, he was dead to rights. The only other thing he could do is try to stop and get in a rundown and give the guy a first time to get up the second. Then you don't really lose anything.
Schweitzer, ground ball to shortstop.
Tough
Kenny,
play.
throw to first base, and the out is recorded.
They got it.
6
Got out of
to 3.
the inning.
No runs in that inning. What a job by Aberdeen.
Good
They had runners
defense.
at second and third and 1 out.
They brought the defense. That's what we talked about.
No runs. There was 2 base hits, no errors. 2 runners left on base.
Keeps the game tight and interesting now.
We have played now 3.5. It's a 1-0 lead for Fallston. Tim, again, you can't overemphasize. That's the point where that game could have gotten away from Aberdeen.
Yeah, real quickly. And now this is where Aberdeen needs a guy to get a runner on and try to manufacture something.
And they've got their heart of their lineup, Diener, Sampson, and France coming up.
Yeah, and Dean looks like he has ambition, or he's already committed to go to Elmira to play baseball. So, you know, he's obviously their best hitter and their best hitter, but the best player all around. But he's got a good chance here to get on base.
Yeah, he has 2 home runs already this year with 3 doubles, a 409 average, 10 RBIs.
That's impressive.
It is that. 3.8 GPA as well. Sean Diener, one of the few seniors on the team, on a very young team.
And Diener really stepped up last year. He had to play some third. He struggled in the outfield. He went out and played a little right field. And his natural position is first base. But, you know, we talked and said, you know, you have to have some versatility, especially going to college. if you want to get in that lineup. So he's willing to do about whatever he can to help the team.
Well, he's a nice sized young man, got good proportion to his body, and plus a left-handed hitter. If you wanted somebody for Ripken Stadium here, for Cal Ripken Senior Stadium, he would be this kind of a hitter. 1-0 the lead for Fallston. We're now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Scott, it's been a great ball game. Good defense on both teams.
Yeah, it has been. It's a great day. It's almost 80 degrees out. Everybody's out. It's a beautiful night for baseball.
We're loving it. Paul Quebec with the pitch on the outside corner.
Diener's seen that pitch a couple times now. It's kind of tailing away from him. He's let it go. So I think he's looking for something inside.
Down low and inside, 1-1.
He can take that pitch the other way, that outside pitch. He's worked on that a lot.
Yeah, that would be a good opportunity for him.
He'd have reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st inning. But nice off-speed pitch, had him out front of it. Ball and 2 strikes. Sean Diener, senior, 2nd year on the team. Swung on and missed. High heat. Got him.
Looked like he went a little off speed on the last one low and then a little high on that one with the speed.
And I like that 0-2 pitch going up high around the neck because it's hard to read and usually swing through it where you might foul it off.
Tyler Sampson, who fanned back in the 2nd inning, actually 3rd inning. Takes a strike on the first pitch. Sampson, a 300 hitter, 7 runs scored, 5 RBIs. Soccer player, also wants to play baseball in college.
Looked like the batter was signaling for timeout, and the ump gave him the timeout, I think. So that was no pitch.
Overcast, darkness settling in here at Aberdeen. Timmy, we talked about these lights that Rigor Mortis campaigned to get money for these lights. What a job. Curveball outside, good take.
Yeah, there's so many things Rigor's done for this school. It's there's so many. The list is unbelievable.
A volunteer, he wasn't a teacher here.
He became an instructional facilitator.
Yeah. Up high.
Well, they're perfectly set up to have lights here because they have the lights on the other side for the football stadium, the lacrosse stadium, right? So
yeah,
it just takes two extra in left field, and they got them.
Yeah.
I guess we got 2 more down.
I think Quebec is really starting to get comfortable on the mound now. He looks like he's trying to take command of this game.
I mean, he has been Fallston. You know, he knocked in their run. He hold them down. I mean, he's been the team and needs some support.
Danny Franz. And he just seems to be, as you said, Tim, settling in. His fastball is really popping now.
No, he's not. You know, he's been relaxed. You know, and obviously the stress has been on Kenny more. I mean on
Keithley.
Keithley, yeah, Bryson Keithley's. What? Hit pretty well.
That
Foul.
ball's hit well, foul. Shows you how deep that left field is. That ball was hit well, but would have probably been a can of corn for the left fielder.
And I think Quebec's seeing that they're having trouble catching up with the fastball. I mean, France caught up with it there, but a lot of them are struggling with his fastball.
Yeah, and that lets you relax and throw it more. There's another one.
And 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts, 3 big Ks there for Paul Quebec. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. So in the bottom of the 4th inning, Aberdeen sends up the heart of their order, and they go down with 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah, and that's a shame because, you know, Bryson Keithley now has been keeping him in it. He's pitching a great game himself, but he's into an endurance battle. And, you know, Paul Quebec, he's not really showing that he's going to tire. I mean, Quebec's last couple innings, he's getting better and better, and he's a sophomore. He's got another year experience. He's got a great body for a pitcher. So, you know, I think things are favoring Fallston still, but they need to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Keithley's pitch count is, but he's had runners on base every inning.
Yeah.
And, you know, Quebec hasn't had that problem.
Yeah, he's been relaxed. You know, his pitches he's pitching from a very relaxed position every inning.
Bob Arnold, the Aberdeen coach in his 5th year as the head coach. Nick Mercado, KJ Davis, the assistant coaches. 4 sophomores starting today and a freshman pitcher for Aberdeen. And again, there are no moral victories, Tim. But if you're Aberdeen, you have to say, hey, we're facing Fallston. You can figure they're upset anyhow, having lost to Bel Air on Monday to spoil their 6-game winning streak. But Aberdeen has played them tooth and nail. It's been just, a battle back and forth between both teams. And Tim, one more question. This is the last day before a 4-day holiday for the kids. How does that affect young people when it's the last day before you're off for 4 days?
Well, the big thing was, they had to go home, find a way back. A lot of them stayed. We added lockers to our field house now. So that's their locker room. They have one side and lacrosse has the other. So they probably got some lunch and hung out there and relaxed. And, they had BP at 4. So
Kind of like the Ironbirds, just hang out, hit some BP.
Who are playing cross town here tonight. You may hear some of the crowd noise coming from Ripken Stadium.
Let's hope so. They need, everybody needs to get out and support the Ironbirds.
Evan Elliott now, who lined out to the right fielder back in the third inning, leading off here in the 5th.
All Elliott's hit line drives, Don.
I heard that. Your last name is, Elliott, right. Right. Funny how that happens. Scott Elliott, whose Edgewood team won the state championship as a sophomore. What happened in your junior and senior years? Come on.
Well, senior years, they changed the state rules for us because senior years, they wouldn't allow. Remember, our football team went undefeated my senior year and did not get into the state tournament.
That's true.
They were mathematically eliminated before the season even started, and that's what changed the rules in our state of Maryland because they had stopped teams like us from even getting into the tournament. Our baseball team did not even get into the state tournament.
That's amazing. I hadn't heard that story. So as a sophomore, you were able to get in and won it all.
Yeah, it was tough for us to accumulate
Line
enough points.
shot, center field, moving. Oh, the center fielder lets it go right by him. That's Trenton Griffin. Going to go into second base safely. The slide head first for the double.
see, now with the state playoffs, every team makes the state playoffs except football. It's still a point system, but they're actually, since COVID, looking at it, letting every football team in also.
Yeah.
Timmy, on that play, it looked like Griffin was coming in and just got fooled by it and then allowed the key mistake an outfielder does, and that is let the ball get by him.
Yeah, he should have probably sat back, played it on one hop.
Yeah.
Kept the runner at first base.
Yeah, now they got a little, Fallston has a little something going.
With their leadoff hitter coming up, that's Logan White. Logan, the sophomore, who was grounded out and then got hit by a pitch in the third inning.
Taking a lot of time trying to really slow the inning down.
Line shot, third baseman under his glove. That time the ball did not come up. Coming, turning, coming home. Here's the throw. He's going to be out at the plate. Out is the call. What a play by left fielder Danny Franz. Came up with it, running on the pitch and getting thrown out of the plate was Evan Elliott.
Every time I think the wheels are coming off the cart for Aberdeen, they make a play and get back in the inning.
And you know, that's a little bit of a mental mistake. You know, I'd like to have first and third with no outs.
I agree.
And, you know, I'd have held him up.
Runner at second base with one out. Braden Rock now the batter.
Well, France was on that quick. I mean, he really got to it quick because that ball hit the lip of the infield, and that's what caused the bad hop. But
well, he's had a little tutelage because that is my nephew, so.
He made a good play to keep him in it there. That's what we've been saying. We need Aberdeen to play some defense. They're getting the pitching.
Danny Franz we're talking about, who made a great play. One out, runner at second base.
Yeah, that's a Sports Center moment there. I mean, he made a great throw. He's got the long hair. He comes in, makes the play. He's going to replay that clip a few times.
Mike Lindenkamp's smiling somewhere over at the Ripken Stadium, I believe.
Well, Saunders is what, a 6'2", 6'3" catcher too. So he had a good target.
Yeah.
Goes up, makes the catch. That was just great bang bang.
That's
play.
two nice tags that Saunders has made.
Yeah, he's got potential for a guy that just learned how to play catcher.
Elliott did a nice job trying to avoid the tag, but hung right with him did Saunders.
You know, with Saunders, the funny thing, when he started last year, we had to reach out to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes so they'd bring us a catcher's mitt for him.
Are you serious? Why?
Yeah, because we didn't have one.
He didn't have, yeah, and he just started.
He just started, didn't have a catcher's mitt.
Well, he's catching on quickly as a sophomore. Up high. Number 2 hitter in the order, Braden Rock.
A lot of that, too, with catchers just wanting to be a catcher. I mean, you know, the hustle and the little things, catchers can make a huge difference by the energy they bring to a game. They touch every ball, so it's important.
Yep. And you can give the pitcher so much confidence.
Yeah.
That little swerve didn't come in. Ball 4. 2 on now. Runners at first and second as Rock goes down with a walk.
Well, you got one of the best hitters on Fallston's team coming up, so they're going to go talk about this a little.
Jason Fox, one of the leading hitters in the county. 400 hitter, 2 doubles, 6 RBIs, 7 runs scored.
It looks like Keithley could be starting to get a little tired. I'm sure his pitch count's starting to climb a little bit.
Yeah, you saw that curve didn't have much bite on it at that time. It sort of hung up there. Fox, who has a single to a center field and a pop-up to the first baseman. Remember, he made the 3rd out there in that 3rd inning with a runner at second base, and you know that Jason Fox is not happy leaving that runner on base, which could have been a run to add to their lead. Still just 1-0. Scott, it seems like Fallston should be up like 5-0, but Aberdeen has just hung in there.
Yeah.
Played good defense when they had to. 2 great tag outs at the plate. Jason Fox, 1 for 2 on the day. Came in as a 400 hitter.
Well, Aberdeen just talked about a plan, so we'll see what they're thinking.
First and second.
They can't really walk him. They got to pitch to him, and usually with a freshman pitcher, you want to get on top early. So Fox is probably thinking first pitch fastball or get me over curve. Either one, he should be jumping on.
Line drive right back through the middle. Second baseman has it, touches second, throws to first, and he is safe at first. No, they called him out at first base. Boy, it looked like he may have beat the throw. A double play from the second baseman unassisted, K.J. Miller, the first baseman, Sean Diener, and they're out of the inning.
Yeah, they are, and it's the frustration's mounting a little on the Fallston side. You know, they couldn't do anything right there. He hit a line drive right up the middle, but that's the second ball up the middle that kind of didn't get through, right? And the second baseman makes the play, and his momentum takes him right on the bag for a double play.
Yeah. May have hit off the end of the bat a little bit, but you're right, Miller came over and made the play. My angle was a little bit difficult. It looked like to me he had beaten the throw at first base, but umpire right on the spot is Ed Kalicki, and he said, no, he's out of there.
And again, this is where I said, you know, if Aberdeen can get one on the board, you know, Fallston's, you know, starting to tighten up a little bit. This is a game, you know, we should have maybe had 3 or 4 runs on the board. That Aberdeen shut us down with some good defense, and, you know, they're getting a little tight, and, you know, anything could happen right now if Aberdeen can manufacture one here.
Yeah, I've been on teams that get a little frustrated when you get into the later innings and you're not performing, and then, you know, all of a sudden somebody, you know, they start barking at each other, the coach starts barking at you, and you're right, Aberdeen's got a chance here. They need to do something offensively and mount some kind of attack, even if they need to bunt, run, steal, whatever they can do to get something going.
Well, K.J. Miller just put a star beside that. He came over and made the play very smartly, went to the bag, touched the bag, and threw the first base. I really thought Jason Fox, who was burning down that line, may have beaten it, but Ed Kalinske, who made the call at first base, he's a lot closer than I am. So they get out of the inning.
Like I say, I'm looking here at your scorebook, and it doesn't look like Aberdeen's got a hit yet today.
They had one hit.
Okay.
They opened the game with a hit.
So this is where, you know, you got to get on and you got to manufacture something or put the pressure on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, you got a catcher leading off, Tim, so if you can get on, you got a speed runner coming on, right?
Jaden Saunders swung on the miss. Well, I just like Saunders' attitude. You can see this young man loves the game of baseball. Just a sophomore,
Yeah,
so good
he's
things
attacking.
ahead.
He's attacking the pitches.
Swung on a miss, nice high heat.
That's where, you know, Paul Kevick is. He first pitch low fastball strike, second pitch high, changed everything up, put it right in his eyes for a strike. Tried it again. It's very consistent with that 0-2 pitch up.
Remember, he's coming off that 3 strikeout inning, striking out 3, 4, and 5 back in the 4th inning.
He's thinking about it right here. Saunders choked up.
But outside.
And catcher kind of rushed through that one, but it was definitely off the plate.
Yeah.
Saunders is choked up just trying to get a piece of this.
Jaden got hit by the pitch, his only time at the plate so far. Swung on, missed on the high heat. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Paul Quebec. Quebec, the sophomore, second year as a pitcher. 3-2 on the year. The only 2 losses of the year that he got branded with.
That's 4 straight strikeouts.
It is. Up high.
Just 5 if you go back to the one in the third.
Yeah.
So
And he's really attacking the zone now, too.
he is.
Connor Sullivan, the batter. Connor, the DH, flew out to center field. Well, you're right. He is just pumping it. A kid with that kind of size, Tim, he's able to get his second wind about this time of the game.
I know we weren't.
Curveball. Whoa.
One time we weren't giving run support to a pitcher, and after he struck the guy out, he made the catcher throw it back to him. Wouldn't even let us throw it around the infield. Said, I'm doing everything. Give me the ball.
Fly ball left field, hit well. Moving on, it is Elliott.
Even that was a heavy ball. I mean, that was a good swing, put a good swing on it, but throwing a heavy ball like that, it just got up there and hung, right? So.
And there's a lot of moisture in the air. We're calling for rain, later tonight, tomorrow. So what had been a nice clear day has turned into kind of a cloudy, gloomy sort of an evening.
It never rains in Aberdeen, Don.
It doesn't?
Never rains in Aberdeen.
Did not know that. Dan Olivec
Yeah.
fanned back in the second inning.
So
Ended that second.
The streak's going to stop at 6 strikeouts, right? 6 in a row. I mean, you can add another one, but.
Pop-up, moving on at third baseman Schweitzer, looking, and he makes the catch in play. Good job by hanging right with it.
Another good inning.
Quick inning for Quebec.
Yeah, and I don't think Quebec's even trying to really fool you too much now. He's saying, I'm throwing it, and if you can hit it, hit it. Because he is, he's going right at him and attacking. And I love seeing that out of a pitcher.
Yeah, especially with pitch counts and high school rules. I mean, it's you can't waste pitches with 2 strikes. The 2-strike pitch, I think, is the hardest pitch to hit in baseball. And, I heard Greg Maddox say one time, why would I waste an 0-2 pitch when it's the hardest pitch to hit in baseball?
Yeah.
And in high school baseball, it's 10 times because you are on a pitch count. Momentum can change. You start, wasting pitches in a game like this, and all of a sudden your pitch count's up and you're out of the game in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning. And now an Aberdeen can mount a comeback against a pitcher who isn't the starter, right? So.
Right.
It has been a whale of a ball game, 1-0, as we now go to the top of the 6th inning. Fallston Cougars scored the only run of the ball game. It came way back in the 2nd inning on a single by Paul Quebec, knocking in James Ferrari.
Yep.
James had reached on an error.
Right.
So the only run given up by Keithley has been an unearned run.
Yes. And Paul Quebec hits this inning. So I'm sure he's telling them on the bench, hey, I'm coming up. Might as well just let me up.
And Quebec, who's 2 for 2, came in as a .217 hitter. So he's saying, hey, pitchers can hit.
Especially when they're pitching.
Yeah.
They have a lot of incentive when they're on the mound.
Finley Jordan now. Finley, the cleanup hitter, 0 for 2, popped up to the first baseman in the first, grounded out to the shortstop in the 4th.
Finley Jordan's a good hitter's name. I like that.
Ground ball. Third baseman moving, has it. Sampson, nice throw to first base over to Dina. Good play. Nice pitch too, nice low pitch.
1 pitch, 1 out.
That'll bring up James Ferrari. James, as we said, scored the only run. Actually, his courtesy runner did, but it was his getting on base that scored the run. Reached on an error. Last time up, it was a fielder's choice. He did reach base, so he's been on twice. 0 for 2 officially.
Yep, didn't get on top of that one.
Not at all.
Check it, let me correct that. He is 1 for 2 on the day. Last time up, he got a single, an infield single. Ground ball, third base coming in.
He's got to charge it.
Get it.
Sampson's got it, throws to first base. What a play by Sampson. Wow.
Yeah, that was well done. He got to it a little slow. I thought he could have got to it quicker, but he's got a lot of confidence in his arm. I've seen that in between innings. He really likes to throw the ball. So.
I noticed too, Scott, he got in position to make the throw.
Yeah,
So
and,
sort of
you know,
surrounded the ball.
His internal clock was right. He knew he had time, so he just gunned it.
Now here's Quebec, 2 for 2. Single to right, single to left. There's that little swervy curveball.
He's just got to get his arm up. He's getting tired. He's not finishing, standing straight up.
Well, you know that, Tim, as a pitcher, when you get tired, that arm starts to drop.
Yeah, I thought they might have someone start warming up here soon, but it doesn't look like Aberdeen's looking at that yet.
Down low.
Well, you know, Paul Quebec's doing a good job of working this too. With 2 quick outs, there's no real reason for him to go up here hacking at the first pitch. He needs to make Bryson Keithley work a little.
Darkness settling in here at Aberdeen. There's the curveball. Yep, strike is called.
And this might be Keithley's longest outing too. So
Might be, and he's done a terrific job.
He's only thrown 6 2/3 innings all year.
yeah, okay.
So he's now is gone 5 2/3.
Yeah, he needs to, if he can bull his neck here and get tough, as Coach Williams would say, he's got a shot of finishing the game. But you know, he's just he's getting tougher. He's getting tougher as the game goes on. He's using his deep breaths and relaxing.
3 balls, 1 strike. Fly ball center
It's hit
field.
really
and deep.
well.
Moving on to Griffin, and Griffin will
Got
make
it.
the catch. Wow, 3 up and 3 down. Great job by pitcher Bryson Keithley in his defense. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We've now played 5.5 innings with a 1-0 lead by Fallston. Tim, I'm impressed with Aberdeen, their defense, their togetherness. Now, they need, as you said, to manufacture runs somewhere along the line. 1-0 is a loss, regardless if it's 1-0 or 10-0.
That's right. So, you know, got to hope the leadoff hitter gets on, maybe bunt him over, maybe hit and run. You know, something to put pressure on the defense. Because the defense really hasn't had to do too much because Quebec is doing it himself. He's saying, here it comes, you know, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and go back to the bench and send me the next guy.
Yep.
And they got to try bunting. It's high grass, you know, anything at this point. Your strategy was to come in and go toe-to-toe to him. Well, that strategy flew. You know, that's over.
Right.
So you need to start manufacturing some runs. And Tim, do most of these players come up through the Aberdeen Rec Council program, or what is your feeder system for JV and varsity?
Our rec program has really fallen off. COVID hurt us hard, so we have a lot of kids playing in Harvard, Grace, Hickory. So we get them like from all over the place. And like I say, the SMA, the Science and Math Academy, really helps us a lot with our athletes and all of our sports.
Yeah, Miller and Kenny, your double play combination, both SMA students. Do you know where they come from, their home school?
I believe Tyler Kenny would be at C. Milton Wright, and I'm not sure where KJ Miller would be.
KJ Miller with a 4.871 GPA. That ain't bad.
Not at all.
Now this is our DH that we misidentified last time. Timmy, who's this?
This is Trenton Griffin, the center fielder.
Trenton Griffin.
But again, here, you know, the third baseman's even with the bag, but that grass is high. If you can get it down,
Yeah, why not?
anything could happen.
There you go. He's squaring
He
the
showed it
wall.
early.
Boy, he heard you. Nice move by the third baseman, Schweitzer, the third at first base.
Oh,
Nice
almost.
dig at first base by Jordan. Second time we've seen Schweitzer make a nice play and Jordan make a nice scoop.
He just threw a sacrifice bunt on a drag bunt. You know,
Yeah.
that was the only problem with that.
Yeah, if he doesn't show it that early,
Yeah.
you know, he's on.
Yeah, he's got wheels, there's no question.
Yeah, he was moving down the line.
Yeah, Tony Schweitzer had 3 or 4 steps on it.
Pop up, moving. Out of play it is, over the backstop. That out scored against Griffin, and now that brings up Tyler Kenny. Kenny, who got the only hit of the ball game, the leadoff single in the first inning. Grounded out last time to the third baseman. So another great play by Schweitzer and by Jordan last time up. 1 for 2. Outside. Tyler Kenny, a 4.5 GPA student, one of the SMA. We talked about Science Math Academy.
It's a very, very impressive team just looking down at the GPAs on our list.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Inside. The SMA program, Scott, similar to what Edgewood has with the International Baccalaureate program, North Hartford has with the farm program. where kids come from all over the county looking for a particular, course of study that they want to take. And a bit high. Well, you can tell that Quebec wanted it.
Smart students, and there's nothing wrong with having smart baseball players. You know, it helps a lot.
It is a thinking man sport.
Line, shortstop. Fox coming, makes the scoop and the throw. Boy, how impressive is Jason Fox, huh?
He is very smooth at shortstop.
Came in, fielded that ball, threw it on the run. Bob McGee and I have been talking about grandkids. And of course we brag a bit, but Bob has a lot to be proud of. Jason Fox, just a junior. See, old-timers, Scott, it would only be old-timers like me that would know the name Jimmy Fox. It means
everybody should know that name.
From
He was an
Summersville,
Eastern
Maryland.
Shore baseball player, right?
Absolutely. Some say it was he who was the model for Jimmy Dugan on
That's right.
League of Their Own.
I've heard that.
That Jimmy Fox had some issues late in his career in terms of maybe not making correct decisions. But Jimmy Fox did manage in the All-American Girls Professional League.
Jimmy Fox
He
did?
did.
Oh,
But they
okay.
said, unlike Jimmy Dugan, he was not a, in your face. He was just a gentleman. But, So there's a limit to what Jimmy Fox was as the model for Jimmy Dugan. If you haven't seen League of Their Own, shame on you. Probably the best baseball movie I've ever seen. Tim Lindekamp gives me a look. Ground ball foul. KJ Miller. KJ made that big double play here
you
at
know,
the top of the inning.
If KJ can get on, we're going to, we bring Diener to the plate again, and that's important. Otherwise, the lineup gets split. They're going to split the lineup again and have Diener lead off another inning. So this is 2 outs. He's fighting. He's trying to get on any way he can.
And if he does get on, he's going to have to try to get to second base somehow. He's going to have to steal a base or something so Diener can drive him in.
That ball third base. Schweitzer with the catch. Long throw to first base. Out is the call. Good play again by Jordan. With that combination of Schweitzer at third and Jordan at first have come up big all night long.
Both teams have played really well defensively.
It has been a great defensive game. Let's see, I'm looking, no errors for Aberdeen and maybe 2 errors for, I should say 2 errors for Aberdeen and no errors for Fallston. So 2 errors in the entire game.
Aberdeen just needs an offensive strategy. They need some way of thinking through, hey, we get into a tight game like this, how are we going to eke out some runs? Are we going to use our speed? Are we going to, use our hitting? Are we going to take a lot of pitches? What's our method here? They seem to be just kind of going through the inning and letting Paul Quebec kind of have his way, and they need to put some pressure, some concerted pressure.
Scott, you called it looking for a bunt on that first play. And as you said, had he not squared, we're talking about Griffin, and given his intent away, and then a great play by Schweitzer to come in and throw him out at first base. That could have begun that inning in a different way.
It's hard. I mean, I know bunting isn't used at the major league level. It's not, the guys don't bunt like we bunted, right, when we played. And there's a lot of different, fake bunts, slash bunts, all kinds of things you can do to disrupt a team defensively when they're in a groove. Because right now, we would have been talking about getting Paul Quebec, getting him rattled somehow. They're not doing anything to rattle him. He is settled in.
And you haven't seen him really pitch from the stretch yet, which could really change matters a lot.
Right.
But give Bryson Keithley, the freshman, all the credit in the world. He has hung in there, and now he's reached the 7th inning with Noah Bark leading off. Bark 0 for 2, reached on the fielder's choice, popped to the second baseman.
And like even that pitch, he's starting to almost get the benefit of the doubt now from the umpire, because he's hung in there and he deserves some respect. I mean, as a freshman, he's using his deep breaths well. He's relaxed. He's poised now. This is a confidence builder. I mean, you go in against, I think Fallston's probably the best team in the league right now, right?
Yeah,
I mean, so you go in as a freshman against them and you pitch this deep into the game. I mean, that's something you can play off of for a while as a pitcher.
That's ball 3 now. Last thing he wants to do is put that first runner on.
Yeah, he needs to bring it back. I haven't seen him walk too many guys, so hopefully he can bring it back.
There's the strike. Make him hit to get on. That's got to be your motto at this point.
Yeah, make him play defense. Nice job.
3-2.
Coming back. Big pitch, kid. Come on.
Yeah, this is a real big pitch.
Yeah, take a deep breath and attack. Keep attacking that zone.
Yeah, I'm looking through my scorebook. I don't see a walk yet. No announcer jinx here on Mr. Keithley. Ground ball shortstop. Good play there by Kenny. Go to first base. Nice job, nice stretch at first base by Diener.
No, I don't want to run into Diener. I mean, even with a full head of steam, I think he wins.
Yeah. You notice that Noah Bark said, I'll just take the outside of that base.
Yeah, I just think I'd pull up.
You own it.
That throw was up the line. I think the runner slowed up a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, I'll live to play another day.
Cody Schweitzer, 0 for 2, number 8 hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, but I joke, but I'm telling you what, Bryson Keithley just 4 strikes in a row, just pounded.
Yeah,
went down 3-0 in the hole and came back and just pounded the glove.
Yep. I mean, Bryson, what is he, maybe 5'6"? Give him a lot of credit, huh?
I think you're giving him a couple inches there.
And he doesn't look like he's got, I bet you've seen him, Tim. He doesn't have control of his curveball like he probably normally does. So he's getting by with mainly a fastball right now, and that's great.
And his defense has played well behind him. Boy, he is still throwing the ball with some heat as well. We're talking 7th inning now. He has pitched a full game. Don't have a pitch count there, but Kenny's got to be approaching 100, I would think. Curveball.
That was the best curveball he's thrown. Best one he's thrown of the day.
Oh, that was big.
That snapped. But he got on top of that one. He really got on top and finished that pitch.
And give credit to Saunders. What a nice block. He cleared the base runner, went into the inside part of the bag, and through the first base, made a nice throw.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys did a great job here developing a catcher in a very short amount of time.
Number 9 hitter, this is Evan Elliott. Last time up, Elliott had the double that went by the center fielder. 2 out, nobody on. Pop up, moving Diener. Going to be out of play.
Well, this is a big hitter for him here. If he can get this guy, he doesn't have to worry about the top of the order. So he really needs to bear down and get this 9-hole hitter.
Then he got up 0-1, so he's doing the right thing. Just attack him. Attack, attack, attack right now.
Fine shot, base hit to right field.
It looks like a double unless they can come up and make, oh, nice play by the right fielder.
Oliveck gets over, gets the ball. That's 2 hits now for Elliott, the number 9 hitter.
I told you Elliott's can hit line drives. That was a given.
But why are they batting them 9th? Come on.
Element of surprise. He's your second best leadoff hitter.
That's right,
Don.
the second leadoff hitter. That's right.
That's the old second best leadoff hitter thing. You tell all the players you bat 9.
There you go.
Right?
Only out, he had a line drive to right field, too.
I tell you, if I was Fallston, I wouldn't wait too long. I would try to get him down to second base right away. I'd steal right away and try to get him in scoring position, maybe get a little breathing room at the top of the order up.
Logan White.
That's exactly what Bryson was thinking, too. He threw over right away. It's just not on top of that curve.
Saunders, keep him close. Logan White grounded out to the shortstop, check it to the third baseman in the first inning. Got hit by a pitch and then reached on an error last time up.
Saunders needs to be ready because if they got something on, it's happening.
Tip foul.
Nice pitch, nice swing.
It was. Logan White, a .333 hitter, 3 RBIs, a double, 4 walks. This team, Fallston, came in at 6-2. They lost their first game of the year and then lost this past Monday. In between, they had a 6-game winning streak. Aberdeen, on the other hand, 2-6. But Timmy, they have not played like a 2-6 team today. Pop up, moving Diener, out of play.
Not much room over there.
I'm impressed with the hustle of this Aberdeen team.
Yeah.
They know they're in the game. They're playing against, as you said, the top-rated team in the county at this point.
Yeah, so we got a 1-2 count here. See if Bryson goes to the curveball, if he can get on top of it again.
Well, there he goes. Curveball.
Nice
hit to
curveball.
left field. That's the only thing he could do with that pitch. It was so far inside.
Yeah, but it was
Hit it.
breaking hard, too. He did get on top of that one. That was a good pitch.
It
That was
was.
a good 1-2 pitch. So what do you do here if you're pitching, if you're Bryson Keithley? You just threw the hanging curve.
Well, hopefully I can hit my spot. I'm going to throw a fastball about neck high, right down the middle of the plate, because it's hard to lay off of, and you're going to either swing through it or foul it off.
Well, he was on the move that time.
But you got to be able to hit your spot. That's the big thing, and he's a freshman.
We expect Elliott to be running on this pitch as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Another at first base. Nope, he doesn't go. Inside, almost hitting. Spun away from the pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the 7th inning, 1-0 lead for Fallston.
Now you got a 2-2 count. So do you throw the curveball and take a chance of going 3-2, or do you come right back with a fastball?
Throw your best pitch, whatever you have confidence. There he goes. Curveball.
Hitting.
Yep, they said hit by pitch. Good
Very
job
close
by,
to not being out of the way on a pitch that was almost a strike, to be
know,
honest with you.
That's a very tough call for an umpire. You know, you get hit by the pitch, you say, no, you didn't try to
You
get
didn't
out of
make
the
any
way.
move, and the ball's breaking to the plate. That's a tough one. I've seen umps, rule in the pitcher's favor there. That was a very close pitch.
First and second, 2 out, bringing up the number 2 hitter, Braden Rock. Rock, who lined out to the shortstop, reaching the fielder's choice, hit into a double play last time. Actually was erased on the double play. Ground ball, that's going to be a base hit into the right field. Here comes the throw of the plate, it's going to be late. And the runner takes advantage by going down to second and third. What a hit by Braden Rock as he comes through and gets the base hit.
And that's one of the little things there. He threw it so high, he didn't hit his cutoff man, where he might have been able to cut that off and maybe cut the runner down going into second.
Yeah.
And you get out with just 1 run. Now you got 2 guys in scoring position with what, the number 3 hitter up, this Fox.
Yeah, this is Jason Fox. And
So,
Jason, who hit into that double play last time, is not going to be in a great mood.
oh,
Nick Mercado, the assistant coach, comes out to talk to his pitcher.
I think right now, if I was coaching in this situation, I'd walk Fox. That way I can get a force at any base, and he's leading the league in hitting, so he's not going to beat me.
Timmy, that's a good call. We talked off air about Buck Showalter, who walked Barry Bonds with the bases loaded, allowed the run to score.
I'd rather give up 1 than 4.
Yeah, you're talking about walking the number 3 hitter, bringing up the cleanup hitter, who also bats .375, so it's not like a walk in the park. In high school baseball, I think you just have to motion into first base.
That's correct.
If you decide to
Yeah,
walk.
they're not doing it.
Second and third. Foul ball to the right side. Well, key part of the ball game. Give Fallston credit. They had 2 down, nobody on. Elliott with a single, and then hit by pitch by Logan White, and then Braden Rock, who made that single to right field. Nice,
Braden,
clean single.
He got the hit that he needed.
We talked about walks. His only walk of the ball game was Rock back in the 5th inning. Outside.
Not getting on top of it. Miller almost knocked that down. They give him a little credit at second base. He almost got that. He didn't have a chance, but
a nice dive.
he did a great job of trying.
Fox is 1 for 3, coming in as a 400 hitter.
He's getting a fastball here, and he will not miss this.
I think you're right.
He probably heard me, and he's got to step out. I would do the same thing.
I think they both were thinking about it.
Yeah, well,
I'm not thinking. I'd rather not think. I'd rather just react. Step out on this.
Runners at second and third. I give him nothing to hit here, Tim. If I don't intentionally walk him, I make him hit a bad pitch.
See,
Nice block by Saunders.
See, the big thing with that, though, not giving him anything to hit. As a freshman, I think he can throw 105 as the most he can throw in a game.
They just wasted
So,
4.
yeah, so he just wastes a bunch.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying put him on.
Yeah, good point. Is that right? It's 105 is the limit, right?
I believe for a freshman, yes.
And then it has implications for further games, too.
He has to be close to that, I would think. Down low.
You gotta,
Again, this team's so well coached.
They
Notice
should just-
Logan White at third base, Scott. He is coming forward. If that ball had bounced away another 2 feet, he'd have been home. White at third, Rock at second.
I didn't need an excuse. You gotta, got your best hitter up, though. They're probably telling him to hang in there.
Well,
They
we
don't
have
wanna
had
make
2
them-
runners thrown out at the plate.
Yeah.
That's Fallston.
Yep.
Pop leg foul. Well, you can see Jason Fox not happy with him, so he thought that was a pitch he should have clubbed.
Yeah, it's the one he wanted.
3-2 the pitch. 2 out. 2-0 lead for Fallston. Key part of the ball game, top of the 7th.
He'll see another one here.
Keithley doing a nice job, taking his time.
Yeah, he makes you wait on him, doesn't he?
Shot, shortstop, fielded, throw to first base, and the out is recorded. Good play, Tyler Kenny over to Sean Diener, and the 3rd out is recorded. So the damage has been limited. They do get a run on 1 base hit, a big hit by Rock. 2 runners left on base, no errors. We go now to the bottom of the 7th inning, Tim. It's a 2-0 lead right now. Aberdeen has to score 2 to keep this game going.
But you can see the pitcher, he went right out there. He was out there before the rest of the team picked the ball up. He says, let's go. This is my game, and I'm going to get this done.
Yep.
So Aberdeen, might have to take a couple pitches, try to work a count. They got to get somebody on base.
Remember that Quebec lost the game to Bel Air. He received the loss when they lost 5-2 back on Monday. So this being on a Wednesday, pitching again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At least I have him. I have him at 3-2 as his record. They've only lost 2 games all year.
I didn't know. I thought they had a pitch restriction on a couple days rest. But
And I could be wrong. I'll just say that they do have his record at 3-2.
Yeah. I don't know when Bel Air scored, but there is a pitch restriction. If he threw so many pitches, he needs to have at least 1 day's rest, 2 days rest. It depends on how many pitches he threw.
Yeah,
right.
I'll take that back and I'll check with Grant Morlock after the game and we can let you know. But they have him listed as a record of 3-2 this year as a sophomore. Quebec came in with pitching only 14 innings with an ERA of 1.00.
You got Aberdeen's best hitter leading off the bottom of the 7th.
he's
So
looking for that 2-run homer right here.
Yeah, with nobody on base, hard to do, but
Scoreboard counts.
Diener 0 for 2, struck out last time up. Reached on a fielder's choice and struck out in the 4th inning.
So much for taking for that first pitch, right? They're coming out swinging.
Diener 309, 2 home runs, 3 doubles on the year. There's a shot, center field, moving, and making the catch. Braden Rock with the catch in center field.
Don, there's no way you and I have seen that ball in this dusk. There's no way.
And I think the wind, which is blowing a little bit in that direction, perhaps, knocked the ball down. So 1 out now. Brings up Tyler Sampson. Tyler has fanned twice. Swung on a miss. Sampson coming in as a 300 hitter, 3 doubles, 7 runs, 5 RBIs. Oh, what a play
nice
by
play.
Schweitzer. Throw to first base. Wow. I mean, put a star beside that one, 5-3. Schweitzer taking a step and a dive. Caught that ball backhanded.
he's played solid down there at 3rd today.
Yeah, beyond solid. And
They both have. That's a third baseman throwing out a third baseman. There,
Yeah.
man. I mean, one play after the other.
I put stars beside great plays, and I've got 4 plays on number 5 with a star beside it. And of course, his first baseman has made some good plays as well. 2 out now.
Yeah, we're seeing the gloves early in the season.
Danny France, last out for Aberdeen, last chance. Pops it up. First baseman moving on it. That's Jordan. And Jordan will make the catch. And the final out is recorded as Fallston will come away with a hard-earned 2-0 win. Tim Lindekamp thinking about this ball game. 1 run scored in the 2nd inning by Fallston, 1 the insurance run in the 7th inning. But Aberdeen played, as tough as you can play a team of Fallston's quality.
Yeah, a loss is a loss.
Yeah.
But what you have to do, you're a very young team, so you have to take this and try to build off of it. But you got to start working on some of the little things. You got to figure out how to get on base and how to manufacture runs. Because, Diener's the only one that's going to hit it out of the park for you.
Yeah.
And, they just, you got to get some patience, maybe work on that drag bunt, because we got some speed. You know, it's just a lot of little things that, you know, positive today. It's just loss is a loss.
Yep, you know, it was 80 degrees. I came here waiting to see some bats, but because I'm an offensive player, but I saw pitching, and Paul Kvek and Bryson Keithley, the freshman, they both outperformed what I thought I would see. They did a terrific job, and you're right. I mean, Aberdeen has something to build on if Bryson Keithley can turn that into another good outing, because, you know, he's a freshman, and he just held down the best team he's going to face this year. So that's a terrific confidence booster.
Paul Kvek, the sophomore, allows one hit. That one hit was the first player of the ball game. It was a single, an infield single to third base. That's the only hit he allowed all night. He fanned 7, so he picks up the win. That's his 4th win of the season. His ERA, which was 1.00, is now into the 0-0 category. So give him all the credit. And again, a sophomore, a kid with his size, you know, he's just going to get bigger and better.
Hit the weight room.
Yeah,
he's definitely got the body and the poise. I mean, he looks good. We'll have fun watching him for the next few years.
For Fallston, they pick up 6 base hits. The big 2 base hits also by Evan Elliott, and also by Kvek. The big RBI by Kvek that would have won the ball game for him. The big insurance RBI coming in the 7th inning by Braden Rock. 2 runs, 6 hits for Fallston. No runs, 1 hit for Aberdeen. Winning pitcher is Paul Kvek. He goes now to 4-2. Losing pitcher Bryson Keithley. He's 0-3 on the year, but again, deserved Scott a much better fate because he pitched well enough to win had he gotten some run support.
He did, but you know, Paul Kvek throwing a 1-hitter, that's terrific. You know, good job to him. And you know, Fallston's a tough team. I'd be interesting. It would be very interesting to see how far they go in the state tournament. And they cruise into the second half of the season now, kind of looking to wrap up a county title if they can keep winning.
And think about it, it's a team that was 7-12 last year. So, you know, that's very unlike Grant Morlock's teams. You know, they've always been very competitive. So you can tell that they want to be making up for what they did last year, obviously.
But you know, this win for Fallston 2-0, that's probably a good thing, because they played a team that's not as talented as them, and they only scored 2 runs. So that shows them we still have a lot of work to do to go to that next level. So, you know, Grant's got something he can build on there, and you know, try to get them fired up a little bit for whoever their next game is.
Yeah, and Grant should tell them, look, you got to win a lot of different types of games. You just can't come out and blow every team with your bats out of the water. And you got to say we didn't hit the ball the way we wanted today, but we got great pitching, and we learned how to win a tight game. That was a tight game. So good for them.
Well, we thank you all for tuning in this Hartford Showcase Sports event on the Hartford TV. We sure hope you've enjoyed it. It has been a wonderful game, a great game to call. Ken Lindekamp can express to you as the athletic director here at Aberdeen all your help and support in allowing us to be here, but also in lending your expertise as well. Good job.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join you. This was I had a blast. Never thought I'd be on this side of the microphone, but it was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
And he's got that Cal Ripken Sr. gravel in his voice, you know?
Yeah,
I like it.
He's a natural, Don.
Scott Elliott, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's not the kind of game we expected. We thought maybe Fallston being, you know, a team that is on the upper echelon, Aberdeen having a team that's struggling, trying to develop. But Aberdeen just gave us a whale of a ball game.
It was like a fast pitch softball game. Just a couple hits and no scoring. But you know, it's always a pleasure being out here with you, Don, and we're off to a good season this year.
Cal Ripken Senior Field, Don Morrison, along with Tim Lindekamp, Scott Elliott. Again, our final score. It's Fallston winning their 7th game of the year to go 7-2. They win at 2-0 over Aberdeen, who falls to 2-7. Thanks for tuning in. Again, good night, everyone.